Hi, this is Stefan G4G, or as I'm known online, Stephanissmart. I recently played a game about 10 minutes ago, and it was with a player rated 2045, while I was rated 1540. So, this is how the game went. My opponent opened up with d4, and I tried a Danish gambit, but she declined, and I developed my knight here, attacking her pawn. She defended. I created an outpost for my bishop over here, and now she developed this knight, trying to influence the board. I opened up for my bishop over here, and now she developed this knight, this bishop over here, pinning my knight to my queen. I ignored it and developed my bishop, and now she's trying to box in my bishop right now. So I simply move away, and now she's attacking my other bishop. Now, the reason I didn't take this pawn over here is because after I would have taken queen to b3 over here, would be threatening my queen side a lot, maybe even threatening to take all three of these pawns, which, as you'll see in the later game, that I very much need. So now I strengthened my knight structure over here, and she moved her queen, and now, as you can see, she has trapped my bishop here. So I'm not going to break up this pawn structure over here, but I'm going to take her knight. And as you can see now, she has an advantage here, because she has the two bishops, while I have the two knights. So I'm not too concerned about this at the moment, since it seems to be a fairly closed game. So this is where knights usually shine. But I simply castle after kicking her bishop, and she developed her bishop now, creating maybe some sort of center control. And now I moved my queen here, trying to clean up this pawn structure over here, which is going to be very dangerous to my queen side. And now she castled, and thing I've noticed about castling, more aggressive players will usually castle queen side if their opponent castles king side, or vice versa. But seeing as she's destroyed her queen side over here, there's no real castle position. She's chosen to go defensive and try to pummel my queen side over here. So now she moves her rook, trying to influence the board. I move my rook, and we start off very passively over here, as you can see, because we don't want to give away any center control. But I keep playing for a closed game over here, and at about this position right now, I asked for a draw. Seeing as there was no real clear form of attack over here, I would be simply defending, and so would she. But she declined and started trying to move this knight up. I simply strengthened my knight structure over here over my kingside defense, and she now tried to influence my queenside over here with her bishop and her rook, and I simply ignored this at the moment, hoping for a trade of the rooks, which eventually did happen, but only after a fair couple of moves after, as you'll see. So I moved my knight down, trying to get some more protection over this pawn structure, and now he tripled his queen and his two rooks. So now it's very powerful over here on this A file, and he's basically trying to push me around. She is now threatening a queen trade. I'm not sure this was the best move in this position, considering she has the open board over here while I'm sort of trapped, trying to maneuver around a small space, but I simply ignored this and waited, and she traded. And now, as you can see, I have a lot more opportunities to come out and try to influence her kingside. And now she takes my knight, which is, I could say, maybe a fairly good move. But now, as you can see, I've equalized the advantages. She no longer has those two bishops that could very much damage the game for me in the end. And now she's come down and threatened my rook while taking a pawn, and now I just go for the rook exchange, because there's no need to have them on the board, and I really want to get into the endgame. So this pawn over here was worrying me, so I simply decided to blockade it with my knight, and pretty much after this, my opponent was pretty much caught thrashing around on this queen side, as you'll see, because after I get my king in here, there's no real way for my opponent to advance. I simply pushed up the king side, since this bishop was the only thing preventing me from taking this queening pawn over here, I guess. And over here, I kept pushing to try and make some weakness in this structure, and this is my opponent's only mistake so far in this whole game. And as you can see, after strengthening my pawn structure, since I was at 2 minutes 54 seconds, I wasn't thinking that I would end the game, but after I looked at the position a second time, my opponent didn't see it right at the moment since she was running out of time too, but I simply sacrificed my bishop right here. And as you'll see, she is now just trying to get this king over here to try and push up this pawn, but as you can see, it's pretty much game over from here. See, because after I get my queen, pushes up the pawn, what is there for white to do in this position? There's nothing. And now, my opponent is simply trying, I have no clue what. There's no real line of attack over here. And I know I missed a checkmate earlier here, but since this was a video, I simply decided that I wanted to make up a very good checkmate over here. I want to get both my queens on the board. Unfortunately, at this point in the game, my opponent resigned. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if there's any comments, variations you'd like to post, feel free. This is Stephan G4G, or as I'm known online, Stephanissmart.